Hello students, in the continuation with the previous video where we had started with the four basic characteristics of particles of matter, we have already summed up three properties. The first one was that the particles are very small. The second property was that they had spaces between them, and the third one was, which we were doing last of all, that was they are constantly moving. So in that last property, I have already shown you that there were two activities which we were studying. The one was the burning of agarbatti and the second one was dissolution of copper sulfate crystals into cold and hot water. So based on those activities, we had an observation that wherever heat was involved, the movement of particles was enhanced. It was increased. And thereby I have highlighted heat and water conditions in that particular activity, right? So now I will explain you that what was the significance of that heat, why had I highlighted it. Now, though it is proved that particles of matter are constantly moving, but it is observed that they move faster in hotter conditions. Yes, obviously it is proved that they are moving, that is why they are gaining so much speed in mixing with each other. We had proved this already, right? But that is faster in hotter conditions, that is wherever heat is provided. Hence, faster movement occurs with increased temperature. Now, where has this temperature come from? We all know that whenever heat is more, temperature is increased. You might have seen in the summers people talking about that the temperature has shooted up till 40, 44, 50, isn't it? That is what? That whenever heat is increased, the temperature is also increased. And if temperature is increased, the particles of movement of particles is also enhanced. That you can see with the very simple recall of your daily procedures is boiling of water, whenever, or boiling of milk. Whenever you put milk or water on gas stove, don't you see the movement of the particles of water? How do they boil very quickly and start moving in the vessel itself? That is what is that. With increase in temperature, with providing heat, the movement of particles is more, it is increased. Now we will see that what is the chemistry behind it. Okay, see, moving particles of matter. Now when the particles of matter move, they develop a certain kind of energy which is called as kinetic energy. We all know there are two types of energies. While the person is in sitting, is in rest, the energy is called as potential energy, and when the person is moving, the energy is called as kinetic energy. So here the particles are moving, thus moving particles will exhibit which kind of energy? Kinetic energy. Now it is the law of physics that wherever energy is present, energy is nothing but as heat generated. Whenever we work, you might have seen, no, you forget about physics, you might have seen when you do some exercise, when you do some workout, you start sweating, you feel hotter, right? Isn't it? Because when you are working out, the temperature of your body, it is increasing, your body is doing some work. So when you are applying some energy, you are putting some work into your body. So whenever you apply energy, the temperature of your body is also increasing. So to prevent that temperature to shoot up more, you start sweating, right? This phenomenon we had observed many a times. So that is how that the particles of matter, when they move, they develop some energy, and whenever energy develops, the temperature is increased. This energy is directly related to temperature. More the energy, more heat, more the temperature. Three things you have to remember. This makes the particles move even more faster, right? This is the condition even if no heat is provided, right? Like we had seen, no, that the copper sulfate crystals in cold water were also showing the same action. The only difference was that it was faster in hot water. So therefore this procedure which I have told you, it is happening in the normal cases where heat isn't being applied. But when there is an outer source of heat applied from outside for any particular reaction, it increases more, and therefore it is faster in the hotter conditions. So that is how we've understood the concept of increased temperature with faster movement of particles. This is very important to understand. It can come like in any way. Okay, so you need to understand. Even if you've not understood, please repeat all my videos to watch again. You will understand this very nicely. Still, if you have problems, you can ask me in the comments one. So by this we finished the concept of heat in the constant movement of particles of matter. Coming on to the next last property, particles of matter attract each other. Now firstly we did, they are very small. They are very small, that is why they intermix very quickly. They are intermixing means they are having some spaces between them, that is why they are going and settling. Now when they are going and settling, that means they are moving, right? But to go towards something, you need to have some force of attraction, right? You take an example of yours only. For you to go to a market and buy something for yourself, you have that attraction for that particular object. For example, you want to buy a chocolate, so for that chocolate you will go and buy it from the shop. For that chocolate you will be going to the market. So any movement, it requires some force of attraction. That is what it is happening here. The particles of matter exhibit some force of attraction between them. That means उनके बीच में एक दूसरे के तरफ खिंचाव होता है, वो एक दूसरे की तरफ खींचे चले आते हैं. ठीक है. Now this we have to understand that this force of attraction is different in different states. Different state means now we have to see whether the matter we are studying is solid or whether the matter is liquid or whether the matter is gaseous, because the particles of matter have different force of attraction in all the three cases, right? In solids, particles of matter are tightly packed. You can see how tightly they are packed with no spaces between them, right? In liquid, you can see that I have highlighted it with blue color, that there are certain spaces between them. Therefore, the particles in liquid are slightly loose. I'm sorry. So particles in liquid are it will be more visible now, slightly loose. Whereas in gaseous, you can see that this is so much of empty space. The particles are moving here and there. So this shows that they are very loose in gases, slightly loose in liquid, and it is tightly packed in solids. Now as it is tightly packed in solids, so force of attraction is minimum and maximum where? This you have to apply some mind. As they are not leaving each other, they are very tightly packed, right? They are not ready to leave each other only. That means they have maximum force of attraction between them. Unlike gases, which are very far from each other, they don't feel like living with each other. That means they do not have that much force of attraction. But as they are in the beaker, so they are having some amount of force of attraction, right? Otherwise they could have flew here and there, right? So this shows that the force of attraction is maximum in solids, it is mediocre in liquid, and it is least in gases. So wherever the matter involved is gaseous, the force of attraction is minimum. In solids it is maximum, and in liquids it is in between, neither very high nor very low. Moving on to the next part. Force of attraction of particles of matter, which I have already told you, it is maximum in solid. Now let's take example iron and chalk. Now here I'll explain you one thing. See, if we take two things, iron nail and chalk. Chalk we can break easily from in between, whereas an iron nail we cannot. If no matter how much force we apply, it is very hard to break iron nail by simple human force, right? So this is why both the things are solid, but the particles of matter are very strongly attracted in iron nail and not that strong in chalk. So this is how the force of attraction varies. You need to get this into your head, that all depends upon the force of attraction, all depends upon the arrangement of particle. In iron nail they are very strongly attached to each other. That is why it does not break even with the human force, while as chalk we can break easily, just because the particles are not that tightly packed, right? In liquid it is medium, example water. Now you might have seen, if you fill water in a bucket or in anywhere, you can move your hand easily through it, right? But if a brick is placed, can you move your hand through the brick? No. Why? Because it is solid, it has strong forces of attraction, it will not give you any space only for your hand to move. But liquid has slightly looser particles, so it will allow your hand to cut the water and move through it. Least in gases, and the example is oxygen or any gas. You can take any gas in the atmosphere. Obviously gases, so you do not see, even we are living in a gas. Air is itself a mixture of gases, right? We are living in that gas, we are living inside it. So imagine how loose might be the particle that it has accommodated the whole environment into it, right? So this is as clear, it's a very general topic. So with this I finish all the 4 basic characteristics of particles of matter. There is nothing left in it. Summing up all together, particles of matter, firstly they are smaller in size. They are smaller in size, that is why they mix very easily with each other. They mix just because they have spaces in between them. Now as they have spaces in between them, so they are constantly moving. That is why they go and try to mix with each other. Now they move and mix with each other, shows that they are attracted to each other also. Otherwise, without the force of attraction, it is very difficult to allow any 2 particles to mix with each other. So this sums up with all the 4 basic properties of matter. Still, if you have any doubt, any confusion with respect to any concept, with respect to any activity, please let me know via the comments. The next video will be the question answers round. I have taken up 4 topics. What is matter? I have covered up. What is matter made up of. I have covered up classification of matter, and I have covered up characteristics of particles of matter. So after 4 topics, I am taking up a question answer round in the next video. Please prepare the first 4 videos and then watch the next one, because it will be quite helpful to you, and I guarantee you will learn all the concepts on spot itself, right? Still, if you have any doubts, let me know. Thank you very much.